Hi, I'm Dhera and today I'm showing you the step-by-step process of making the smoothest eggless buttercream using only 3 simple ingredients. I'll also be answering all the doubts you might have about buttercream regarding how to store it, the shelf life, how to use stored buttercream and so on. The recipe card is at the end of the video, so let's get started. We will start by taking softened unsalted butter. The consistency of the butter is very important, so we will check by pressing down a finger. The butter should be soft enough to form an impression but also stable enough to hold its own shape. Let's start by beating the butter on low speed for 2 to 3 minutes. After a few minutes, we'll increase the speed. Make sure to scrape the bowl down periodically. Continue to beat. After 10 to 15 minutes, we'll notice that the butter has gotten very light and pale. We'll set this aside. The next ingredient is icing sugar. You will notice that the icing sugar has many lumps, so we will sift this nicely before using. To the butter, we will add half of the icing sugar and mix it using a spatula. We will beat it again for 2 minutes. After that is smooth, add in the rest of the sugar. Mix this using a spatula. Beat it until it's smooth. To make this buttercream extra smooth and rich, we'll add fresh cream. Beat it for a couple of minutes and your buttercream is ready. At this stage, I also added a little salt to taste and vanilla extract to my buttercream. This is how you surface cling wrap your buttercream for storing. You can store it in the fridge for 7 to 8 days or in the freezer for 3 to 4 weeks. I've divided the buttercream and colored using good quality gel colors. Let's make some buttercream flowers. We'll start by taking a flower nail and stick a baking paper using buttercream. Make a rough base for the flower. Using a thin round nozzle, we'll make the center of the flower. We will start by making one petal at a time. Make sure to rotate the flower nail as you go. When you're done with all the petals, lift this baking paper gently and put it on a plate. Chill it in the freezer for 15 minutes. The flour will set and you'll be able to pick it up from the baking paper and place it on a cake. For the next design, I'm using a Russian nozzle. In this, you don't have to move your hand at all. Press the piping bag to let the cream out and then lift gently. I'm completing the design by making some leaves. Using this recipe, you can make this design directly on your cakes. Now let me answer the most commonly asked questions. The most ideal temperature to store your buttercream is from 0 to -4 degrees Celsius. This is your freezer's temperature. This way your buttercream will stay good for 3 to 4 weeks. Make sure to surface cling wrap your buttercream and store in an airtight container. If you store your buttercream in the fridge, it will stay good for 7 to 8 days. The most important thing to keep in mind while working with buttercream is the temperature, because the main ingredient is butter. If you warm your buttercream way too much, the butter will melt away, unable to hold its shape. On the other hand, if the buttercream is too cold, you won't be able to pipe it. If you try to whip up cold buttercream, it will curdle and get separated. Okay, so to fix this, our goal is to bring the entire batch to room temperature. There are two scenarios. If you have warmed up your buttercream way too much, it will become soupy. Now the only way to fix this is to pop your buttercream in the chiller and wait for it to set a bit. After it becomes a little chill, bring it out and whip again. If your buttercream is too cold, take out a little portion of it, like 1/4 of the entire batch, and warm it up using a microwave or double boiler. Now we will mix this warm buttercream with the entire batch while continuously mixing it with an electric beater. Our goal is to bring the entire batch to room temperature. After doing this, if your buttercream is still cold, repeat this process. As soon as your buttercream reaches room temperature and you are whisking it, it will all come together. You should never use liquid color to color your frosting because too much liquid might ruin the consistency or even give a curdled effect to your buttercream. Always use good quality gel color or powder color. As soon as we store our buttercream in the fridge, the butter will solidify. So I like to take my buttercream out well in advance to let it come to room temperature, whip it up and use. If you forgot to bring your buttercream out of the fridge, warm a little portion of it and mix it with the entire batch until it reaches room temperature. You can use this buttercream to frost all your cakes and cupcakes. I hope I answered all your doubts regarding buttercream. If you have any other doubt, drop them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Happy baking and bye.